All right, what's going on? My name is Chris Rubio of Rubio Long Snapping. Hopefully, you figured that out by now. This is going to be a new segment for Rubio Long Snapping, or a new thing. I don't. It's not necessarily a segment. It's called Real Talk with Rubio. Some kid gave me this idea. Good-looking kid, great DNA. He said you should try doing this. You like to be on camera. You like to talk. Yes, two obvious things everyone knows about me. And so, yeah, Cruz, my son, who's how old are you? 23, 24, 25, 22. How old are you?
23. 23.
23. That's a great move by me. Yeah, I knew exactly how old you were. Don't worry about that. He wanted to do this, and I said, "Yeah, let's try it. We'll talk to some former long snappers, and we're going to start with Cruz." So, Cruz, we're going to just go through basically 5 questions, and we're just going to have fun with it. Okay. Obviously, we're going to talk a little bit about long snapping, but we're going to talk about some other things. Number one, the first thing I want to ask you: give me your top 5 road snacks. So you, Big John, are going on a road trip. Give me your top 5 road snacks. Now remember, this is
Ooh.
you're driving in a car, not even a motorhome, just you,
Okay.
say in your little Honda CR-V thing, whatever that thing is. All right,
Yeah.
go.
Okay. So right away we got to go Reese's peanut butter cups. We're gonna go a king size one
Well,
because
of
two's not
course.
enough. We got to go four.
Okay.
If it's Christmas or Easter time, if they've got the trees or the eggs, specifically the Reese's eggs, those are
Oh, okay. Okay.
fantastic. Yeah.
So in addition,
No, that's
okay.
just like if we have those available, we're going for those right
Okay.
away. And then we're gonna go Cheez-Its. We got to add those in there.
Okay.
Very good snack. Then we're gonna go a Fit Crunch protein bar, specifically the chocolate peanut butter one. So we're gonna double up on chocolate and peanut butter here.
And is the fit crunch due to the fact that you're trying to counterbalance the other crap that you've already
Well,
eaten?
you just got to throw some protein in there casually because if you
Okay.
don't, then it's gonna be a bad trip all around.
Okay.
Um, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and skip the fruit section. Um, and then we're gonna want something. Oh, this is a good one because there's like four that like could really get thrown in these last three spots.
Okay.
I'm gonna go hot Cheetos. Okay, specifically the lime ones or limon, as I like to say.
Okay. Okay.
We're gonna go those, and then we're gonna go. Oh, because I've gone a couple savories, but I want to go sweet again. I'm gonna go a honey bun. I love a honey bun.
That the
So
one that's
good.
like a cinnamon bun, but it's
Absolutely.
pre-wrapped and it's
Yeah,
just
absolutely. A honey
okay.
bun. Throw that in there. And then I think I get one more. I want something chewy. So I'm gonna go Lifesaver gummies.
Okay. And I'm hoping if I gave you a sixth option, it would be an EKG machine because that is literally the most unhealthy snacks I've ever
Well,
heard
you didn't
on the
say we were going
planet.
to we weren't going to a Whole Foods here. We're going to like a 7-Eleven. We're
I,
not,
I know you're going to a 7-Eleven or a Stinker store or something like that, but for the
yeah.
love of God. Okay, so you're just going completely unhealthy the entire way. Now, what are you getting for your drink?
All right, this is gonna be another unhealthy. Well, we got to go with water, but it's got to be the one that's got like the little nipples on it, like the
Oh,
specifically
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Arrowhead one with the nipple on it. And then we're gonna go a blue Gatorade with the Gator nipple on it as well.
No, you get one drink. You don't
Oh,
get
then I go
two.
the blue Gatorade with the nipple on it.
Blue Gatorade Zero or just blue Gatorade?
Just blue Gatorade.
So okay, your road time snacks are like at 7,000 carbs, 700 grams of sugar.
Yeah.
You need an EKG machine, and
Well, we're
hopefully
gonna
you're not
if
driving because you're going to have a cardiac arrest within an hour and a half.
well if it's here's the issue, right? If it's a long drive, then you're gonna be stuck there for quite some time. You need something that you can just toss in your mouth real easy. Okay, so you've got the Cheetos. Okay, we've got the Reese's might throw you off there, and the honey
No,
bun as well. But the Cheez-Its, the Cheetos, and then what was the Lifesaver gummies, right? Those are just easy to throw in your mouth. Had we gone to a Whole Foods, maybe I would be able to get a little more healthy options, but I'm working with what I got here.
okay, well, how fat are you where you need something that's easy to throw in your mouth? Why don't
Well,
you just
I'm
get like a
driving.
feed bag like a
Well, because
horse?
you got one hand up here, you got to go one hand available at all times.
Okay, but what if you're the passenger? Like this is not that difficult a scenario here.
No, it is. It really is because there's a lot of external factors that we're not talking about.
You're the kind of guy that orders off Amazon that thing that you put in like the vent where it holds your French fries and your ketchup, aren't you?
I have for my golf cart. Kayla got me for Christmas a hot dog holder that you put in your golf cart.
That see now that's one of those things that I have this theory on things that are invented by fat people. And not
Yeah.
throwing bones against fat people, but like that's one. I
Hmm.
think Velcro 100% invented by fat people.
Yeah.
Top golf 100% invented by a fat person. He liked to play golf, or she likes music, likes food, likes drinks, but the walking from the cart to the ball is just a little too much.
Yeah.
The automatic pumps for footballs and basketballs where you just press a button, fat person, 100%
Yeah.
agreed. All right, number two, Cruz. Tell me about your long snapping journey from high school to college, because you went to from a very, very large high school, and not necessarily population wise, but just let's say expertise wise, in
Yeah.
modern day high school in Southern California in the Orange County area, to San Luis Obispo, which is a gorgeous location, not exactly known for their footballness. Okay, so tell me your story a little bit.
Yeah, so my story goes went to Mater Dei High School for 4 years. From freshman to junior year, I didn't really get much playing time more than, we're playing some bad team in the fourth quarter. They let me get a snap in. So didn't really get a ton of experience in game. A lot of my stuff and exposure came from going to Rubio Long Snapping camps and such. And, you know, yeah. And, senior year, finally got the start, played throughout my senior year. Right around season time ended, got my first offer from Whittier College, a local D3 in the area. Shortly after that, I got scholarship offer from a school called Morgan State, which is an HBCU on the East Coast. And then following that, I got an offer from the University of Idaho, Central Washington, I believe it was. And then finally, I ended up getting Cal Poly right around, actually, it was about right around this time of year. I think it was February 27th, if I remember, 28th
Okay.
of 2019. No, 2020.
Okay.
Yeah. And then ended up taking a visit to Cal Poly, meeting with Coach Petrie, who was at the time the special teams coach there, and had a great time there. Loved every second of it. Mostly fell in love with the campus.
Yeah, it's
Um,
gorgeous.
you know, talking to you, you guiding me through recruiting, it was always make sure that, you can be a student there first. And that was for me one place that compared to like a school like Morgan State, where it was in Baltimore, Maryland,
Ooh.
where for me, I felt like I could be a student there and not just an athlete. So that was a big deal for me. And
Fun fact about Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo. I got actually recruited by them as well. I think I've told you this or told a story before. And I took a recruiting trip there. It was just unofficial, and I chose to not go to campus. I went on campus, but I chose not to go to school there. And the only reason why is because the campus was built like this. And I remember going downhill to the football stadium and then uphill to everything else. And I was about 295 pounds at that point. And I said to myself, my fat ass is not walking up and down this hill every day. So I literally chose not to go to school there because it was a bit based on a hill. So there's a fun
yeah,
fact for you.
yeah, and you saw it too. It's still like that.
Yeah.
The worst part it was, I think it was after my sophomore year, we transitioned from practicing on the practice field to practicing on the main field.
Oh, okay.
So you had to do that walk every day after practice, and I don't do anything during practice, so it didn't really affect me too much. But for all the other big boys on the team, they were not super stoked about the idea of it.
Okay. So what was the best part about playing at a smaller school, and what was the worst part?
Um, I would say the best part is it felt a lot easier compared to high school. For me, like going into high school, playing schools like Bishop Gorman, IMG, Bergen Catholic, St. Francis of Maryland, you're playing these top teams, and there's so much pressure on you consistently. Being a 17-year-old playing on ESPN in front of millions of people, and having family from Idaho, California, Tennessee, Texas, all texting me, calling me, saying, "Hey, we're watching the game. Best of luck, good luck, whatever." Being a 17-year-old, that can be really hard.
Mhm.
But transitioning into Cal Poly, we're on ESPN Plus, so it's not as much airtime, and it was a little bit of a smaller feel. And I think that for me, it was being able to be connected with the community as well. I got NIL deals from local taco shops, something that you wouldn't really see at a school like USC, where it's like
And
you're kind of,
what was your NIL deal? What did they pay you?
they paid me in tacos essentially. So I did a commercial for them, and they gave me a gift card voucher to their restaurant.
That
Uh,
is one of the fattest things I've ever heard, and
hey,
I've never been more proud.
I mean, it was a great experience. They were awesome. They were really cool. They gave me, I mean, I was able to fund dinner for a little bit there, so it was pretty nice. But they got to know me very quickly there. So,
Okay.
um,
What was your go-to burrito order or
well,
taco?
well, it was burritos, and then it turned into bowls because I had a bit of a weight issue for a little bit. So,
You come by
heard it
that
runs in
honestly, my man.
yeah, heard it runs in the
That's
family.
on me,
Yeah.
somewhat.
So usually it was this is at peak fatness. We go two Al Pastor tacos, two carne asada tacos, and then we're gonna do an order of nachos, right? And then and then we're gonna go horchata as well.
This is all just for you?
But this is like a post practice, maybe post game meal.
Is this all for you?
Yeah.
I'm
Like I
assuming you
said, this
ate this
was
very close to a toilet.
well, yeah, very like I'm basically eating it on the toilet.
Okay. So yeah, that's well, that brings me up to my next question. Touch a hard time on your life. What is was finding a toilet one of the hardest times in your life, or was there something else you'd like to bring up to kids or parents?
Yeah, yeah, I would say freshman year was definitely the hardest time in college. Um, Being that, you're away from family consistently. You meet all these new people who you've never met before, and you're supposed to be with them every single day. And there's people that you're not going to get along with, and there's people that you're going to learn to love.
Yeah, 100%.
Um, I think the most important thing for me freshman year was, just learning to deal with it and kind of suck it up in a sense. Sometimes tough love is the best love. And I think that's what I needed in that moment is, you know, you have an opportunity and you're blessed to be in that position. And I think sometimes we take advantage of it, especially as athletes being like, oh, I want to be back home and I want my laundry done for me and I want fresh food when I come home and I want to be able to smell the crock pot, and when you get to school, it's just like the same thing over and over. It's like Groundhog's Day, essentially. You're doing the
Oh, I
same
get you.
thing and it gets very monotonous in a sense. And, you have to kind of find the joy in what you do every day because, you're having to carry the kicking bag and you're having to bring the net out and you're having to carry the older guy's shoulder pads. And if you're late, you got to do bear crawls for 1,000 yards or roll 1,000 yards, whatever it is, so I think just being able to kind of find the joy in the, like we always called it, like enjoy the suck, like because it
Oh yeah.
sucks, it does, but like be grateful that it gets to suck, because a lot of kids don't have this opportunity.
I got it. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah,
Yeah,
freshman year is just rough. I don't care how well you played, no matter how much you've traveled. You're away from home usually,
yeah,
and it's new things. I remember one of the hardest parts for me was growing up an only child. I never had a roommate,
yeah,
and going to college was the first time I ever had a roommate. And I just didn't like the fact that I would put something down, and when I got back, it was moved for some, just it could be just anything, and it was like, well, why would you touch my stuff? And I
yeah.
just couldn't stand it. And so I only had a roommate the first 2 years, and then from that point on I was able to get my own room, and I just was like,
Well, that was like the good part about COVID was everyone got their own rooms. So freshman year, I never like we had
oh yeah.
yeah. So we didn't. I didn't have anybody else in my room. I had three beds to myself and like four desks. So it was great in that sense. But at the same time, you couldn't talk to anyone, couldn't see anyone really. Had
Oh
to
yeah, and
take
you were in
turns.
California, so it was like super locked down, where in Idaho there was no laws. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and I remember like right before Thanksgiving, we woke up one morning, and at this point we're all like, because season had got pushed back so many times because they're like, oh, we're gonna do it in December. Okay, December, like October comes around and 35 kids have COVID, so we're not gonna do it in December. Then we're gonna do it in January. Okay, now January comes around. Okay, we're gonna move it till April. And I remember it was right around Thanksgiving break time. We got a text from the thing that was like, "Hey, practice is canceled today, COVID outbreak." And I remember all of us sitting around in the little hall for our dorms and playing putt putt golf and being like just so ecstatic that we get to leave because it was just like so much. You never know, you don't know what's gonna happen, right? And we were just waiting, and then finally got to play like 3 games, and it was the worst 3 games of my entire life. And then
Oh,
yeah,
college football games or putt games?
no college football games.
Oh, I thought you were still on the putt.
No, well, that was a great day too.
Who was were the fat kids the best at the putt? Because I have a
No,
theory
actually,
on that too. Like,
yeah, Big John was fat at the time, so Big John
yeah,
actually he sank one from I think probably about like 45 yards out,
Those fat kids, for some reason, and I'm throwing myself in the mix here, they're always
Hmm.
good at like the hand-eye coordination games, like
Yeah,
darts and things like that. Or like if you most college football teams in some sort of team meeting thing, they have a ping pong table. Fat kids are usually
always.
phenomenal at that because there's not a lot of movement.
Yeah.
And you know,
No,
so there's that.
we had a ping pong table in our garage, and I think me and Big John went back at it forth for about 2 years. And then that's funny you say that. Once he started losing weight, it all went away.
Oh, 100%. Because
Yeah,
he started relying more on his athleticism instead of his fatness. And the
yeah,
fatness is what got him there. And yeah, it's a tale as old as time, Cruz.
yeah, yeah.
So playing ping pong, okay, putt putt,
Hmm.
college football, a lot of stress. How do you handle that stress? How did you handle that stress?
Uh, well, it all depends on your mental, right? Like how you go about it and how you view things. For me, I knew I was the best in the world at any, but you have to have that type of confidence, right? Am I actually the best? Probably not, right? Just to be real
I don't
for
know
a
where you
second.
get that attitude.
Yeah, exactly. But, for me, it was just like constantly telling myself, like, I'm the best. I'm going to go out here. I'm going to, whatever day it was, Monday, Tuesday, Saturday, it didn't matter, right? Going to go out there. You don't have to go out there and do 1,000 reps, but every single rep you do of snapping or whatever it is has to be perfect.
Mhm.
And you have to give it 100%. And for me, it was just kind of telling myself consistently, like, this is only 4 hours out of my day.
Yeah.
I'm a human outside of this. And for me, being a long snapper was, just a part of me. I had another side of life where
4 hours part of your day. Is this at practice?
yeah, just a practice.
Who the hell's practicing for 4 hours?
But you got to get out there an hour early, and then
Why?
practice is 2 hours. Well, because we only had one field. We didn't have like a dual field. So if we wanted to
Oh,
get any reps in, then it was before and after practice.
okay.
So like I'd call
That's
the
a
kicker
lot.
Jesse and Noah, and I'd be like, hey, let's they'd all I would never ask for extra reps. I was very lazy.
Well, of
They
course.
they were asking
Yet
for
again,
extra
that's
reps.
on me.
Yeah, and just trying to get out there a little bit early. But I think another thing is making sure that I think for me nerves were always a good thing. You want to be nervous because you want to do well.
Oh
Um,
yeah, and if you have the nerves, it shows that you care. When you don't
yeah,
have nerves, that's kind of that's where you kind of lose it a little.
yeah. So making sure that like it's good to be nervous and kind of embrace the situation. I
Mhm.
remember it was my first ever or second ever true start as a sophomore, and we were playing at Fresno State.
Okay,
And
big stadium.
yeah, it's a good sized stadium, seats about like 40,000, I think. And it was the first game of their season, so it was sold out. And I remember coming down, walking because you walk down into the stadium, and I remember standing there and talking to the guys and being like, "Wow, like what a great experience this is."
Mhm.
Same thing like when we played at Montana State my senior year. I remember telling the young guys because I had played there one time before,
Mhm.
and I told them like, "This will be the loudest stadium you've ever been in,"
They're
and you can
they're kind of
attest.
into their football there.
Yeah, no, they're in. Like they're really in.
Yeah,
And being a kid growing up in Southern California, going to USC, UCLA games,
the
taking
Bruins.
visits to these schools too. Um, that was the loudest stadium experience I ever had was Montana State. So
And it's only 22,000. And for those that don't know, Cruz's stepbrother, Alec, I call him Ritz, he plays D line at Montana State. So we've been to some games there, and it's only 22,000 people in that stadium. But good God. I mean, I've played in front of 108,000 at Tennessee and Michigan, and Rose Bowl was like 102, I think, at the time. And it's loud. I mean,
yeah,
he's not lying.
yeah, and it's so like for me, it was like always just like embrace the moment and like take it head on. I'm somewhat religious, so I would always tell myself like God put me in this position, and I'm capable of being here. So why
Okay.
might as well just go out and ball out.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. And the last question here, Cruz, it says whatever I want. So, Cruz, you're making a meal. For me, and we'll say Mr. Jesus, because you're somewhat religious, you said. What is
Mhm.
your go-to from start to finish meal that you're making, me and Mr. Jesus?
I'm making you guys.
Who?
So I'm cooking for you guys.
Oh yeah, I thought you said Nunez. I was like, what the hell kind of food is that?
No, 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 no. So for an appetizer, we're gonna start out with some balsamic glazed Brussels sprouts.
You had me at balsamic.
Yeah, so good. And then we're also gonna throw in some garlic cheesy bread in there.
You
Okay.
had me at garlic and
Ralph's
cheesy.
does a great one where you can just throw it right in the oven real easy. Okay, so those are the two appetizers. Then we're gonna mix in, a couple beverage like we're gonna mix in like some apple juice and an old fashioned. Okay, we're gonna
Apple
throw
juice
those.
in an old fashioned?
No, separate.
Two
Two
separate.
or like because like
Okay.
if we want to have one option and another option. So we're gonna do that for the meal. We're gonna go a nice twice baked potato.
Eh, okay.
We're gonna have all the toppings on. We're gonna have cheese, sour cream, green
Oh, yeah.
onions,
That's a
bacon.
I'm
Okay.
not a
Then,
big potato guy, and that I know everyone in Idaho hates me for saying that, but
yeah, that's
I mean,
on
if
you.
I had to, I'd go French fries. But
Well, yeah. I mean, steak fries are fantastic.
yeah,
Well, that's an argument another time though. But then I'm gonna go a big ribeye. Like I'm talking like a 24 ouncer.
Jesus.
Yeah. So we're gonna go a nice big ribeye. We're gonna throw that on the grill. If it's a little too thick, I might throw it in the oven and then sear it on the grill after, just so we
Okay.
can get because it's got to be cooked medium rare. If you eat your steaks anything more than medium, I think that there's a special spot in hell for you. Um, you know,
Well, we are in America, so yeah. That, I
yeah,
mean, yeah. Medium rare.
yeah.
It's obvious to me.
I had a college roommate that would order steaks medium well, and I wanted to punch her in the throat every time.
Well, you might as well just eat beef jerky.
It was the most disrespectful thing to God I've ever seen.
Okay, so what's dessert?
Dessert, I'm gonna pick up from shout out to Reunion Kitchen. I'm gonna pick up a butter cake from Reunion, and we're each gonna take down one of those.
Each our own?
Yeah, each our own.
How big is said cake?
They're not big. They're like you've had one. Remember, they're
I know,
like
but
this
I can't
big.
remember.
They're like this big.
But
Like
like like a
no,
cake
no,
cake
no,
or just a
no, no,
piece of
no.
cake?
They're like it's like the size of like it's like a big cupcake.
Oh, and
Like
it's. I know people hate this word, but I'm gonna say it. Is it moist enough?
it is very moist. There's ice cream on top. It's cooked well. There's a graham cracker crust on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
It's
Well,
it's one of the best desserts. You had it. You said
I know I've had it. I try to
so
block anything that's that tasty out so I don't have dreams about it because I love to
yeah
eat.
yeah. It's
Um,
Kayla working there is a real problem for my diet.
yeah, that would be a very big issue.
But
Cruz,
we're going around it.
no, Cruz, this was phenomenal for the first real talk with Rubio or Rubio talk with Rubios.
Okay.
Multiple.
Yeah.
You did a great job. If anyone would like a certain former long snapper to be on here, just email Rubio at Rubio Long Snapping. Just put in the subject line "Real Talk with Rubio," not Rubios, just this one time. Cruz, we appreciate all you've done and keep up the good work, my man.
Appreciate it. Go Stangs.